destruction. I'm back to usher you into a celebration of Garfield storytelling. It's time to face your fear, to take a chance with Lady Luck and see if you can survive the mayhem of my Carnage Factory. Are you ready for
Central Florida On Demand's Allison Walker. This year at Halloween Horror Nights 20, fear is revealed.
And it is opening night. We're excited.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to the opening night of Halloween Horror Nights 31. We are super excited.
So we're in Halloween Horror Nights, and we are at the arches. Look at it. Oh, it looks so beautiful.
It's happening. We're here. We're officially at Universal.
Oh, look at the lighting.
Y'all, after a week of being on evacuation and seeing that archway, crying.
Hello, welcome into another Sunday night live stream. Hello. That little montage or intro thing you saw there is, dude, we got 40K views on the deep dive. That is insane, man. That's insane. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let me set my phone down real quick. 9 months ago, from right now, 9 months ago, we put out this like 2-hour long video like essay about Halloween Horror Nights as a whole, starting from the beginning stages of HHN back in the 90s, going all the way up to, 31, because it was before 32 last year. So it went all the way up to 31. It was this 2-hour long video that we put out. We were still a very tiny channel, I feel like, at that point. I feel like we had like maybe 300 subscribers. And we reached out to all these creators back in the day, like Losh TV, Brian from Orlando, Kevin Heimbach, Nerd Squish, The Hero, Miss Chloe. We reached out to all these creators, and when we're such a tiny channel, and we're like, hey, we want to do this big deep dive thing to showcase all the creators that cover HHN, or at least a good chunk of the creators that cover HHN at that point, and put it all into this huge video for that whole HHN at home event that Horror Night Nightmares was doing at the time. And so that happened. I edited this video for like 26 hours.
Yeah.
I wrote 100-something page outline full of all this research of all the years of HHN at that point, and put it out. And now, 9 months later, 40K views on that thing. The most popular video on the channel. And that's all thanks to you guys. And that's crazy. That's crazy to me. I don't know. But thank you to every one of those creators that helped us out back in the day. And it's crazy that you guys are still watching it. Because I feel like us, the horror fiends, have improved since then. As far as like editing styles and script writing and all this other stuff, lighting, studio, all this other stuff. But you guys are still going back and watching this 9-month-old video. That's insane. And obviously that's what put us on the map, I feel like, for HHN to cover it last year. And really had me go into the drive of, I definitely want to go forward with covering HHN from now on. And that's the video that did it. And it's crazy that that video, with what its meaning is to me, means something for you guys, because a lot of you have watched it, and that's crazy. But thank you so much. I just wanted to talk about that first, because I saw that today. I don't even know if it hit it today or if it hit it recently, because I don't really look back that far that much on the channel, because there's a lot of videos on the channel. But yeah, so Anyways, let me read some chat here. Welcome in Adam. Welcome in Omnia, Christopher, Nate. What's up, my man? Welcome to Alive. Welcome. The horror homie says congrats on 40K. Thank you very much. That is Mr. Lady Luck fanboy over there, the horror homie. Dreamport, welcome in, buddy. If you guys don't know who Dreamport is, an awesome HHN creator, make sure you check him out. He does some really good breakdowns. If you like deep dives into certain topics and things like that, check him out. He also says the intro goes so crazy.
It's absolutely my favorite.
Thank you. I definitely wanted, when I was creating that intro back in the day, I was like, I want it to be meaningful. I want you to feel emotional watching it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm going to find like these opening night videos of all the creators that were in here. And I found them and I put them onto this thing and used that song that I love so much, which has just kind of become like the Horror Fiends theme at this point because I use it for everything, called The Day I Lost You, by, I believe it's Stills. But more so it was a song inside of HHN 2019 that I love so much and always brought me back to that moment. So I've used that so much on the channel that it has become the theme of the Horror Fiends at this point. Welcome in Stefano. Joy Mail says, I just watched the deep dive again the other day. Phenomenal job. Thank you so much for that. And Nate, member for 8 months. Man, haunted homie for so long. Finally back for Alive. Congrats on the merch drop. Thank you so much. If you guys do not know, we did drop merch for the channel. And that is live now. It's open for you guys to check it out, purchase, all that fun stuff. Link for that is in the description. There is 47 products. The most recent one is for limited time only, and it's kind of like a weekend shirt. Like the weekend shirt. But yeah, so thank you, Nate. Anyways, topic of today's video, as you can read from the title, we're going to be talking about, since, we're on the topic of deep dives and talking about the past of Horror Nights, I wanted to talk about some underrated houses that have come to the event in the past that didn't get their flowers back in the day that I want to highlight. Because I feel like people hate houses sometimes that I feel like I love a lot. So I want to talk about that. And then after that, I want to get into, obviously, this year. Obviously, it's what we're all here for, waiting for these announcements to come. And I want to talk about our predictions on when those announcements could be and what they could be. Obviously, we don't know. We're not Universal. We can't confirm it for you. But, yeah. You should make and... Yeah, I can't see what that second thing says. Make and sell pins. I'm a collector. That's a great idea, actually. I should do that.
That would be really cool.
Good idea.
That could be our new thing for this year to have
I will
in the
take
park
that.
with us.
Losh, like I was just speaking of, for the creators that were on that deep dive, Losh TV, a good friend of mine, says my goats. Thank you. Thank you very much. Kobe says, sorry I'm late, and sorry if you've already answered this question, but when do you think the next reveal is? I'm going to hold on to that, and we're going to get into that a little later in the stream. But Losh TV, another awesome creator. Make sure you check him out. Does a lot of great videos. He just put out this video talking about the next decade for Universal. It's doing amazing. Congratulations, my guy. And make sure you definitely check out his channel and that video if you guys haven't seen that, because a lot of work went into that video that he made as well. Someone says, I see that orange shirt.
Oh.
Yes, so that is the HHN shirt, the most recent one. Before they put out the black version that they just released.
I love the orange version, but I'm going to have to order the black one.
I think it is kind of funny that they did release a black version. Must have saw the I guess, criticism they got on the orange shirt, which I don't hate the orange shirt.
No, I love the orange, but it's not for me.
But yes, we do have it. We do have it. And the black should be on our way soon to us. Because we don't have any control over our spending habits. Can't believe we are 4 months till HHN. That is weird.
Yeah.
It's weird that it's April and there's 4 months. I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram or anything. Also, that is Zombie Chris. I want to actually, before I go into what I was talking about with the Instagram, Zombie Chris, again, another awesome creator and great friend of ours. Great content as well. These are a bunch of creators. Thank you guys all for joining inside of the live stream today. That's cool. But Zombie Chris, another awesome creator. Yeah. Amazing. Go check out his content as well. Very in-depth, especially if you're looking for like information as far as like tickets and things like that and what to expect. Zombie Chris is like your guy for it. He really dives straight into it and is like, hey, this is what you're going to spend. This is how you can save money. This is what they have to offer, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. Been to HHN twice. Oh, I actually did not. I will get to you in a second. I didn't talk about what I was going to talk about off of Chris's chat.
Yeah.
If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, I made a couple days ago. I made a story at like midnight, and I talked about this, and I believe the morning live stream the other day. But I made this little tiny video because at midnight a couple days ago in April, weird. I booked the resort for HHN.
But I did it.
It's crazy. It's crazy, and I said this inside of this video. I was like, it's never too early to plan for HHN. Honestly, this is probably the earliest I have. I feel like. And compared to other years, like before 30, before I was really into the whole speculation thing, and then obviously before last year when I was in the creator space, I just went like one day of HHN usually, and I would buy the ticket like last minute.
Yeah.
But then 30, I got really into speculation and actually watching creators like the ones that are in the stream currently, and I was like, oh, I'll take this advice. Let me plan for HHN a little differently. And we ended up going more, getting Freak of Fear, things like that. And then, last year's, I think, the earliest before this year that I planned everything. And now this year, it's April. I'm like, boom, I got the resort booked, Amber.
Yeah. Wake up one morning, he's like, hey, by the way, I booked it last night.
I was like, here's opening night, the resort, here you go. So yeah, it's never too early to plan for it.
No.
Anyways, moving forward from that, Stefano says, been to HHN twice. This year, I'll hopefully be bringing family. That's awesome. So you've been twice, does it mean the past 2 years, like your first year was 31? Or is this like you kind of did it different kind of years? Then Nate says they bullied them to releasing a black version of the shirt. They did.
Honestly, releasing a shirt for the spooky community and not having a black version.
Yeah, because I feel like expected. I feel like if they already had a black version ready, they would have dropped it with the orange one.
Yeah.
And the fact that they didn't kind of says they listened to the feedback and put out a black version. Brian says most underrated houses. Oh, okay, we're getting into it.
Get into it.
Okay, Orlando's Chucky, Nightingale's Blood Pit, Dueling Dragons, Icons Unleashed, and all of the classic monsters. I feel like that's a hot take on some of those. And I'll get into why before you ridicule me for saying that. Orlando Chucky. You know what? I will let everyone have their own opinions on it, right? I'm not going to shame you because we're talking about the underrated houses. So I do want to hear you guys' opinions on what you think is underrated. And if you did like the Chucky Orlando house, great. You know, I was not the biggest fan of it, and I'm a huge fan of Chucky. Like, I love the new series. I love the classic films, the millions of them. I hated the remake. But I really do like the series that is currently ongoing. Like, which that just dropped an episode. If you guys haven't seen that, go check that out because you'll see some little teasers of other Universal dolls in that, which cameos. Was crazy. Megan was in that episode. I won't say the extent because you guys can go watch it, but Megan was in an episode of Chucky. But I wasn't the biggest fan of the house, and then I saw obviously like the videos from Hollywood and their Chucky house. I was like, man, why didn't we get that?
Yeah.
But maybe it is an underrated house. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong, right? Maybe I didn't appreciate it for what it was.
Right.
Nightingale's Blood Pit, I agree with that one. That one, I love Nightingale so much. I believe that was 29 that came, 2019. I love Nightingale's Blood Pit. And I've said this before, but if the speculated Greek mythology house that could be coming to the event is anything like Nightingale's, which I know Greek, Roman, completely different, but if it's anywhere in the theming of that, I'm gonna love that house. Then the next one you said was Dueling Dragons. Now I feel like Dueling Dragons was an amazing house, for sure. I don't think it was underrated. I feel like everyone that I talked to about Dueling Dragons, like my creator friends, things like that, I feel like they love Dueling Dragons, and even just the general community, I think, as a whole, love Dueling Dragons. The chat's moving fast. Let me go back up.
But yeah, no, I think the issue with Dueling Dragons, but the reason it seems so underappreciated is kind of going off what you said. A lot of the niche Universal community and people who just love Universal really loved it, but Horror Nights attracts such a big crowd that's not necessarily Universal people, and that's probably why there's such a mixed group of opinions that we've heard throughout the year.
You got a good point. I didn't even think about that. I'm thinking it from a fan standpoint.
Yeah. From a fan standpoint, everybody loved it, but that's because we love Universal.
The next one you said was Icons Unleashed. I don't remember that house. If you mean Icons Captured,
Icons Captured, yeah.
maybe, but there might have been a house called Icons Unleashed. I don't remember though. But yeah. Then we got all of the classic monsters. You think all of those are underrated?
Again, maybe we're just looking at it from a fan standpoint, but I feel like that one was pretty genuinely.
I feel like those are like perfectly rated.
Yeah.
Because those are fantastic houses every year. Some of my favorite houses of all of HHN have been those Universal Monster houses. I know Chris is in the chat, and he's gonna hate me for saying that because he does not like some of those houses. But hey, Chris, you put a poll on your channel the other day, my guy, and the results spoke for itself. Universal Monsters won. So, just saying, man. Then we're gonna get into. Hold on. Oh my gosh, there's so much chat.
I know, it's zooming by.
Most underrated house, in my opinion, Spirits of the Coven. I agree with that. That I perfectly agree with. I feel like that house was completely overhated.
It was.
For sure. It was definitely underrated.
Don't even get me started.
No, please, get started.
I just loved that house so much. Like, that year I went in, like, being like, this is gonna be my favorite house of the year. And given right now, off the top of my head, I cannot tell you what other houses were there that year because I can't remember.
2022? That was the weekend.
Exactly! Whenever I think too hard, I can't remember.
Bugs. Dead Man's Pier, the most beautiful house of HHN history.
But it was compared to a lot of really good houses that year, so maybe that's where they fell a little short. But I love that house, like down to like the costuming, even like the like audio cues in that house were really cool, like all of the lines that they said. Specifically like the bartender that you saw in there, who was just like chilling, doing his dishes, and like turned around and scared you. Like loved him, and then just all of the characters really, really were cool, and I loved them. It wasn't necessarily like the scariest house, I guess, but visually, it was so good.
One of my favorite houses of all time is Dead Man's Pier. That house is not at all to me scary.
Yeah.
At all. But it was beautiful. And so that is why it's one of my, so it doesn't have to be scary to be great. But Spirits of the Coven, don't we have art someone made of us or made for us of that or something?
Yeah, I don't know where it's at.
I don't know where that's at,
Oh my
but I do
gosh,
remember
you
that.
reminded me about that. Yeah, because it was literally someone's like, "What was your favorite house?" And I was like, "This one."
Yeah.
But it was very, very good, and I really appreciated the like weird like starting normal and ending on a very creepy note.
Yeah.
Like you slowly got deeper into the spookiness.
Mary says, hello, I've finally been able to catch one of your lives. Well, welcome in, Mary. We do these quite often. I've done 3 in 1 week, which is new for me.
Yeah.
But we're introducing the whole morning live stream thing, so if those are obviously better times for you as well, I do that as well sometimes. Where we just drink some coffee, take a poop after, because that's what happens when you drink coffee.
We hide nothing here. Very honest channel.
We do. If you guys have seen the opening Night Eve live stream of last year, that was like 4 hours, you know I don't hold anything.
Yeah, no, I can't wait to do that again this year.
Yes, that will happen again. So that will be, the details for that will have to come soon, because Horror Nights is starting earlier. So the night before HHN, there will be a big live stream again, like last year. Okay, going forward, going into... Chris says, woohoo, yeah, I did the same as soon as the dates were announced. Oh, you're talking about your booking of what you're saying. We got to meet up at one of these resorts, Chris, because I know you're going to be there opening weekend, obviously. We definitely got to do some content together, man. Do some crazy stuff. Even just make crazy content, you know, like, doesn't have to be HHM related. Just be like, hey, let's play Uno and film it. Then we're going to get into, Stefano says 2019 and 2022. So that was the 2 years you went. Okay, so you did 2019. Good. 2019 is a fantastic year. You did miss 30 though. Apologies.
Apologies.
Then Chris says, I start planning my trip for the next one the day after I get home from the last one.
No,
Agreed.
honestly.
Agreed. Yes,
Yeah.
I do that as well. But this is the first year I've ever actually put that in motion very early.
Yeah.
Because obviously there's discussion. Me and Amber talk about HHN all the time.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's like 90% of our conversations.
By the time it's over, it's...
Like, we
time to
love
start
this event
again.
so much that we just don't stop talking.
It's our whole personality.
Yeah. My second is food, so. Second personality.
It's like, what do you mean your second is food?
Janice says, we found Express for the first time this year. I've gone so many times, but Express is for sure needed after last year. We're doing Express. Okay, that's what you meant. Yeah.
We
This
agree.
will be the first year we're probably going to invest in Express as well. Usually we get the frequent feeder because we go pretty often. We're not local, so we don't go as often. We're local enough, but
Local
not
enough.
completely local as some other people that can go like every night.
I would say we could make it a there and back in one night, but it's not fun to do.
Right. So yeah, we're probably gonna hurt our wallets and invest in Express this year with our frequent feeder, which
Most
will be
definitely.
a whole bucket of fun.
So great.
Omnia says she loved Chucky, or they love Chucky. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Chucky had potential, I will say that.
Nate says Chucky in Hollywood was pretty good, always had such a long line. Yeah,
Hollywood's Chucky did look absolutely banger.
honestly, Hollywood looked packed, but so did Orlando. Orlando was packed as well.
Yeah.
I think with every year, the IPs they're introducing, and the more people are discovering Horror Nights through, like, YouTubers or, you know, just friends and stuff like that.
That and just like the bigger IPs they've been
Yeah,
doing.
the
lately.
IPs. Yeah, it brings a lot of people, and that's why Express might be the move of the future, even though it's going to cost a lot. But then Brian says, 2023 was my first time in person, and this will be my second time. Hope to see Ghostbusters, Freddy, Silent Hill, Nightmare Fuel, and Ghoulish. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe they bring back Ghoulish. Thoughts?
Maybe not Ghoulish specifically, but maybe.
She just
That
shut
would
down
be
your
chill.
dream. She said, no, you can't have that dream because it's not happening.
No, you can have the dream. You can have the dream. Maybe they'll bring something back.
Maybe.
Nightmare Fuel though, I'm dreaming with you.
I mean, it's kind of set. We're getting Nightmare Fuel again, right? That's happening until forever at this point.
Better be.
It's the new Bill and Ted. I probably just offended so many people saying that. Adam says if Chucky was just the first half of that house, it would have royally sucked, but the second half built it up for me. What was the second half?
I was gonna say, honestly, I don't remember nothing about the house. I just remember the Q line video being so cool and then getting into the house and being like, oh.
Also, gripe. I'm gonna have a gripe here. Why is there never AC inside of the Fast and Furious houses? Is there AC? Because I'm always hot.
Yes.
Is there?
There's AC once you walk into the actual house.
No, I'm talking about,
But
like,
that
the Q line.
area. No, they just have the giant fans.
Because I know when you ride Supercharged, there's some AC in there, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a little cooler.
Why'd they turn it off? They don't like us.
They're just trying to cut their bill costs.
Fear Cosplay says, I actually didn't hate Chucky in Orlando, but it wasn't Hollywood. Agreed. I will say that.
That makes
That is
sense.
my take on it.
Like, it was interesting to be in. It was cool to see.
I didn't hate Chucky.
I'm gonna say, I don't hate it,
It wasn't.
but you don't love it either.
Yeah. Compared to the houses in the previous years that we have gotten, that I have been able to experience, I won't say it's the worst out of all of them. I will say that.
Might be the second, though. Sorry.
Brian says, yes, please bring bloody lions and mythological creatures. Oh, for the
Yes.
Greek house. Yes. Which the rumor is of Poseidon's Fury. I don't know if that's what the grounds on that rumor is.
I don't know, but it could be pretty cool.
I don't know.
I'm down for it.
The thing with Poseidon's Fury, I would love to see it at the event, right? But I think it's too close after Dueling Dragons to throw another attraction one.
Yeah, but if they do, it's purely based off of the fact that everybody absolutely ate up Dueling Dragons.
True. Yeah, Dueling Dragons was a very well received house. Yeah, I feel like a lot of
Bless
people
you.
liked it. I'd rather
What?
I'd rather have another vasectomy than wait in the Orlando Chucky line.
That line was weird.
Adam, or is that no? That's Joey. Joey, welcome in, buddy. It's good to see you. I want to frame that. I want to print out that chat and put it right there, right with my Horror Night stuff right
Yeah, because I don't know what it was about the Chucky line, but every single time, one, I just hate the Fast and Furious Q lines because they're just so all over the place. But also, I don't know what it was about Chucky that year, but every single time you got in that line, it was not the wait time they had posted. Because
Yeah.
I remember hopping in line because it was like 45 minutes, and I knew there was no way we got in a line that was over an hour for Chucky. Because we didn't like it that much.
Yeah, true.
And we ended up waiting almost 2 hours.
Which we only did Chucky once the whole entire event, didn't
I
we?
did it twice.
Did we do it twice?
Yeah. Because I remember going back through and specifically looking for the TV in the bathtub.
Oh, I don't remember that. That tells you something that I don't remember. Brian says, did the tour and loved all the details. The comments are going so fast that I don't remember what we were talking about. Sorry.
One of the houses.
Great. Maybe it was Dueling Dragons. Maybe because there's some couple Dueling Dragons. The detail in Chucky was TVs. Anyways, moving forward, let's stop harping on Chucky.
Yeah.
Dreamport says, Dragons was not what I initially expected, and I originally didn't see the hype, but it grew on me. Was in my top 3 by the end of the year.
Oh, absolutely. I was just like really excited and hoping and praying for exactly what they did at the end of the house. The like Choose Thy Fate.
The thing with Dueling Dragons is, I think if you guys watched last year's video of our hype list, I had Dueling Dragons really low. I think I had it at like number 9 or 10.
I don't remember what I had it at.
But then during the hurricane that came through, I listened to some podcast episodes that Universal put out, that whole Discover Universal podcast thing. And then we listened to it also on the drive up to HHN. And the story behind it that was told inside of the podcast got me a little more hyped for it.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I got to eventually do it on like the 3rd day of opening weekend, because the lines were insane, I was very into it. Like, I really liked it.
That one and not Spirits in the Coven, Blood Moon. That was another one that the podcast really got me excited for. I was very excited for it, and then the podcast just added to that.
Brian says not a lot of people know the older movies. I'm guessing you mean the Chucky movies. Yeah, not a lot of people do. Some people recognize like the original Child's Play, but now obviously the new generation is growing up on the Peacock series, which is weird, I guess to say.
It is weird if that's your only like experience with Chucky.
Right, because obviously the series follows the movies, the 7 or 8 movies. Mary says, Revenge of the Tooth Fairy, my favorite house of all time, is so underrated in my opinion. That is like, that's one I haven't thought about since 30. I'm not gonna lie. And then actually no, I did think about it last year because there was that Tooth Fairy inside of the shipyard. I don't know. The Scare Zone in San Francisco last year.
Yeah. Shipyard 30.
So I did think about it then, but that is a good take because I feel like Tooth Fairy, its whole set design as a whole was really good because it was like a whole storybook, kind of like a pop-up storybook.
That and then the decaying walls as you got further through.
Yeah, I did forget about that.
And then like the progressive like not stink to like decaying death smell.
Yeah, I didn't think about that either. I did like Tooth Fairy.
Because wasn't Tooth Fairy, you like kept kind of going through the same set, but it changed?
I don't remember. It's been...
I don't know. I just remember, like you said,
it's been 3 years.
The pop-up storybook at the beginning is a stick out to me, and then the decay. Like it progressively decaying, kind of like a cheap do.
Yeah. No, honestly, I completely forgot. There's a lot from 30 I don't remember.
Oh, yeah. Also, Chupacabras, that's another one that I feel like deserved a little more hype from that year.
Yeah, Chupacabras, definitely. Where was I?
Chef's Kiss.
Monsters Unmasked was my favorite house last year. You have a great opinion, and your opinion is valid and true, because that is very true. That was the best house of last year. Sorry, Chris. Speaking of Chris, but yeah, they always win. Yeah, man, I'm sorry, man. I love them. Then we got hello from Washington State. Haunting of Hill House in Hollywood had an awesome interior design and story, but had the terrible generic poster facade. I do remember that.
Yeah, because
And your name's Kyle. I remember you from last stream. Hello, Kyle.
Literally before the stream, me and Kyle, we're just talking about how I thought Hill House was one of the ones here that was a little underrated too. Fortunately, we had the really cool house facade that was very accurate, but I feel like I heard a lot of people not really loving that house, and it was one of my favorites.
Yeah, no, I feel like the same with that. I do agree the Hollywood one had a terrible facade. What were they doing?
Yeah, I
don't know. They just slapped a poster on the wall and was like, "There's the house. Have fun." But I did see like obviously the videos from inside Hill House of the Hollywood version. Obviously, I went inside, actually worked inside of the other one, in Orlando. But yeah, it seemed good, which I want to go to Hollywood so bad.
Absolutely, would love to do that.
Mary says, I don't get the hate for Spirits of Coven. I thought the story made sense. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's like a very simple story. There wasn't like huge like depth, you know, to it. It's not like they're trying to make it complex or anything like that. Yeah, it was easy to understand, I feel like. And they portrayed it well, going through the house to where you could understand what was going on, I feel like. I don't know. Maybe I listened to it more walking through the house or studied it more going into the house than like the average goer, but then
You're so far behind on chat.
I know, I'm trying to catch up. Where was I?
Adam said, yes, I thought that house was a masterclass on steadily escalating dread/intensity. And then, sorry, my chair, be doing this to me every stream.
I gotta get you a new chair.
And also said, exactly like I said, Spirits of the Coven nailed the concept of steadily escalating intensity from a harmless start to a nightmarish finish.
Yeah. Is this Spirits of the Coven we're talking about?
Yes.
Fear Cosplays says, oh, also the goat sucker maze was overhated. Sadly, I forgot how to actually spell it, but I think it translates to it. Goat sucker.
I'm a little lost. The who?
Maybe someone...
Maybe someone can translate in chat.
Yeah, I don't know
What's
what
the goat sucker maze?
Anyways, I'm sure it was a fantastic house. The goats were probably sucking. Anyways, before we get demonetized here, Nate says, I gotta go for now because I'm at work, but we'll be rewatching the playback. Have a great stream, y'all. Alright, Nate, have great rest of your shift at work, buddy.
It was good to see you in a stream again.
Dreamport says, I will defend Fiesta de Chupacabras to the end of the earth. My pick for most underrated house of the past 5 years. Well, good for you.
I can agree.
My most underrated house is 6 years ago.
Since we're on the topic of Chupacabras, they translated the goat sucker house is the Chupacabra house.
What did the Chupacabra be doing? Do we need to talk, buddy? Chupacabra. Man. Get a
I
room,
feel so
bro.
lost though. Like, how does everybody know that and we didn't?
I didn't know that.
I feel dumb. Anyways.
But yeah, Chupacabras, I feel like it's definitely an underrated house. Just walking into it with that whole village facade.
Specifically the fireworks in the background. So
yeah.
good.
Yeah. And the actual Chupacabra looked good, even though it didn't look like how the Chupacabra did on the merch of that year.
Yes. They were giant puppies.
It's like there's miscommunication there. But no, it was a fantastic house.
Love, love.
Brian says, Silent Hill, Ghostbusters, Creature from the Black Lagoon versus the Wolfman, Lost Boys, Hostel, Unrated, Iron Maiden, A Real Life Nightmare. So this is what you want to come
He's
to
saying
the
this
event.
is his dream lineup because he had part of the comment earlier.
Oh,
Just didn't
okay.
Come through his one.
Let the Right One In, and then Videodrome and Day of the Dead.
Interesting. Day of the Dead would be cool.
Hostel would be cool. Lost Boys, I'm all for Lost Boys if they ever bring that to the event. I know that was speculated. Don't know if that could be coming, but I would love to see Lost Boys. I'm drinking a soda and it's making me burp, guys. Sorry. Adam says the second half of Chucky was when Chucky sort of rebelled and started going on his killing spree. I don't remember it.
Told you how much we did that house.
Yeah, I would have to rewatch like a walkthrough because I really don't remember it.
And then he also said he likes to do each house 3 times each year.
And then Brian says if I have to hear that song one more time, what song?
Chucky Q line.
Chucky Q line.
Maybe. Because
song
we were
was the
talking
Chucky
about the
Q line?
Chucky Q. Maybe the Chucky theme from the series, maybe?
Oh, I don't.
I don't remember.
I like doing each house 3 times each
I
year.
already read that, buddy.
You did? Oh,
Yeah.
my bad. Ileana says the most underrated Hollywood house is El Cocoy. I hope I'm saying that right. For sure. Latin American based houses are always so good. Yeah, I agree with that. I don't remember. I mean, I didn't go to Hollywood. I don't avidly go to Hollywood, but El Cocoy, I don't know what that house is. I'd have to look that up. But Monsteros that you guys got last year. That looks like a fantastic house. I've heard it was a fantastic house.
So secretly hoping that the speculation map with the little South America on it means that maybe we'll get Orlando's version of that house.
I would like that. Then Fear Cosplays says, okay, yeah, or even Horror Hotel. That was don't remember that either. I don't remember Horror Hotel if that was a house. I've never done Hollywood HHN, but the idea of an El Cocoy house, I think I'm saying that so wrong, has a lot of potential. Yeah, I'd have to look it up because I have no idea what that is. Fear Cosplay says it even had Machete as the voice of El Cocoy. Oh, Danny Trejo? Oh yeah, someone corrected later. Danny Trejo.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's cool. You guys get the cool stuff sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Dreamport says Unmasked was my favorite Monsters house of all time. Like out of all the Monster houses.
I think that's a pretty valid. I did love the Bride house though.
How about we just go with the classic Universal Monsters house from 2019?
I feel like Unmasked still beats that.
I don't know.
But you know what? Legends collide.
Legends Collide. Ooh, yeah, I forgot about Legends Collide too. Ooh, I don't know. It's hard to compare all the monster houses
They're
because
all so good in their own ways, and we can never pit them against each other. Monsters support monsters.
Monsters support monsters.
Yeah, like women support women, monsters support monsters. We don't put them against each other. Not in this household.
Then Zombie Christian says Darkest Deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, that might be...
That is an underrated one, though.
I feel like that's the most popular underrated one because
Yeah.
so many people do love it that it's become more rated.
Yeah.
But I feel like at first a lot of people were skeptical, especially during speculation last year and announcement season.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, Darkest Deal? Devil went down to Georgia? How stupid.
Yeah.
I remember there were so many comments on our videos about that too. They're like, why do you guys have Darkest Deal higher? Because it sounds cool.
Yeah.
And it was cool.
It
Darkest Deal was an amazing house.
Unfortunately, did not enjoy the fact that they did put corn in there, though. Because what happened right before Hornets?
Hurricane?
Mm-hmm.
There's probably corn in the house this year too, I guarantee you.
They will never learn their lesson.
Adam says, in Monsters Unmasked, Mr. Hyde in particular got so many full-fledged screams for me. Agreed. And he had great scares, I feel like, in that house. And
Also, the bungee scare.
yeah, that was
That's a pretty good one.
who was that?
Hunchback.
Yes, Hunchback's bungee was so cool.
Yeah.
I love bungee scares.
I want to be how Adam was, though. I need there to be a house this year that gets me to actually, like, scream.
I feel like I
don't want to be desensitized.
We've gone so many times to HHN. We watch horror movies religiously. We're very desensitized.
I don't want to be though. Like, I want to feel my soul leave my body, and that's what I need.
I have gotten jump scared many times at HHN.
Oh, plenty.
Like, for example, last year, one of the clickers got me in Last of Us. But yeah, and usually the monster houses. Like, when they do a triple scare, that gets
Every
me.
time.
That gets me. But as far as like all out screaming, like no. Then we get Zombie Crush says, "Boo, monsters." I'm gonna make you like a monster's house. We're gonna go through a monster's house this year if there's a monster's house, and you're gonna like it.
Honestly, Kyle's reaction to the monsters in and of itself will be enough for you to be like, you know what, yeah, this house is pretty cool.
I love monsters so much. The only thing I've reacted better to than monsters is two houses, and that's Winter's Wake, Dead Man's Spear, because and then second one, Icons. Icons captured.
That first run of Icons captured that year, chef's kiss.
Yeah.
So good.
Jack on the Throne.
That was just like the perfect welcome to that year.
Oh, and let's not forget Yeti of last year.
Yeti was really
Yeti
good.
was fantastic.
Cannot call it underrated though because
I'm not calling it underrated. I'm just saying I freaked out in the house because I love Yeti.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
That was like my number 2 most hyped house last year.
I appreciated the campiness.
I remember, Chris. Do you remember when we were in queue line for, I think it was Blood Moon, and I was like, "Hey, you did Yeti? You did Yeti?" And you're like, "Yeah." I was like, "So is it good?" And you're like, "For you."
Because honestly, the fact that you called it from the start, that you put that at the top of your list, and it was House of the Year.
Yeah, I think House of the Year, didn't it? Man, my man HHN Bear in there pulling it, man. Kobe says, I would so want a Scary Tales again. Imagine them doing Mickey Mouse and Pooh because of the rights.
Oh.
Technically, it wouldn't be Mickey, but it would be
Steamboat Willie.
Steamboat Willie, yeah. I feel like even if they did that, Disney would have a problem. because it's
Probably.
Universal. They're gonna be like, no,
I'd be like, actually, we're taking the rights.
we're
back.
gonna re-sign the rights and we're gonna sue you.
But I would love to see another like Scary Tales vibe, and then
Yeah.
them also saying Scary Tales reminded me of Scary, because that was another one I brought up earlier today when you were talking about underrated houses. I feel like a lot of people didn't really like Scary, but I loved it.
Oh, Horror in the Heartland. That's Scary House.
Welcome to Scary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Horror in the Heart. That's the full name.
Really?
Yeah, Welcome to Scary Horror in
Me
the Heartland.
constantly just calling it Scary, so I never remember.
I only know because I worked in that house. But yeah, no, that was a fantastic house. Meets, man. Cindy.
Specifically the Cindy part I loved, and like the burning school. So good. And the poop monsters.
We don't talk about the poop monsters. The Scolders.
Darkest Steel fan club.
Darkest Steel fan club. I know Dreamport loves that house. That was like his top tier house of all time. Then let's see, Goatsucker. Kyle says, "How cool would it be to have a Final Girls, of course, with a Z, such as Laurie Strode, Sydney Prescott, Nancy Reagan, etc."
That'd be an interesting concept.
That would be the hardest house to get the licensing for.
100%.
I agree that would be a fantastic house, having all the Final Girls
Yeah.
with their killers or whatever it might be.
I do agree that it would have to be spelled with a Z as well, because Horror Nights do love to do that.
Yeah. Then Adam says, in the original folklore, chupacabras apparently suck the blood of goats.
I did not know that. I just thought that chupacabras killed animals.
I didn't know anything about
Because
chupacabras.
one time as a child, I kept a grasshopper in a jar.
Here's Amber's autobiography, by the way.
I thought
Huh?
I thought you were gonna say something else about me.
No.
I was like, what are you about to say? Anyways, I used to keep a grasshopper in a jar in my little cup house, and my friend came over, and we kept him, and we named him, and he was a really big, chunky grasshopper. I'm getting somewhere. with this.
Okay.
I promise it's related to the conversation. It's my perspective of what a chupacabra was going into this, because I didn't know anything about it.
Mhm.
Only thing I knew was that the next day I went outside, and my grasshopper was in the jar, cut in half.
Where is this going?
Listen, he was cut in half. His body was on one side of the jar, his head was on the other side of the jar.
Okay, great visual.
And my neighbor told me a chupacabra got it.
A chupacabra got your grasshopper.
Yes! So that's all I knew about chupacabras.
She went into this house at H&M and was like, I'm gonna get the guy that got my grasshopper.
Exactly, that's lived with me my whole life. I was like 10.
Anyways. Adam says, Lost Boys, yes. Hostel, oh. Well, I can't say that for demonetized reasons.
Heck no.
Don't say it.
I hate.
Don't say the next part.
I hate TP.
I hate toilet paper. Don't say it.
I wasn't going to.
Yeah, Hostel is an acquired taste kind of movie. It's one of those like weird movies.
Weird.
The song was, it was turned down for what? Oh.
Where was turned down for what, please? I'm so confused. Maybe he's talking about, maybe Hollywood. Are you a Hollywood person?
I don't know.
Maybe that's why we keep getting confused.
Adam says El Cocoy, sort of like the Mexico's answer to the boogeyman. Okay, so that's what that is. Brian says Horror Hotel, yes, follows goat guys in robes with the bloody Illuminati symbols. I don't remember that. You might be Hollywood though, like you were saying. Dreamboard says they're all great. Kyle says, why does Michael Myers get so much hate for HHN? What about reviving it by doing a Blumhouse Halloween trilogy house? Can't wait for the Halloween Peacock series. Amber can't answer this because she hates Michael Myers. I know, right? Tomato, 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 tomato.
Not a fan, not a fan.
No, I agree. I think the hate with Halloween for HHN is they've done it a good bit.
Your camera in focus.
No, it's not.
Oh, I think I'm going blind.
What was I saying? What was I saying?
Good question.
They've done Halloween a lot.
Yeah.
That's what I've been saying before you talking about my camera.
Sorry. Everything went
So I think that's where the hate comes from. But I agree seeing a Blumhouse version would be cool. Just don't put Halloween Ends in it.
Stop, they're roasting me.
Yeah, she hates Michael Myers.
Not the tomatoes.
Tomato, tomato, tomato.
I just I've never really been a fan of Halloween or Michael Myers, and frankly, you can't change my mind.
Uncultured.
I like Laurie though.
Uncultured. Halloween's amazing.
He's just not my favorite. He's just been one of the ones that I'm like, why he alive? Why he keep coming back? Why can't we make up our minds on what he is?
Anyways. Kaylin says Darkest Deal is great, but Criminal Activity for not playing Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Honestly, or at least like
Look at all the tomatoes.
I know, that's why I was like, dang.
Tomato.
Just gonna leave. Stay like this.
Anyways, yeah, I agree.
The cone of shame.
But at the same time, I feel like they should have played it maybe, well, it was a tent house, but like maybe the queue line or something. Because I feel like inside of the house, how the house was structured and the whole vibes inside the house, I feel like would have threw off the vibe if they played Devil Went Down to Georgia. I do think that. Soda, man.
God bless it.
Anyways, Joey says Halloween from Blumhouse as long as they stop before the third one. Yes, agreed. Never, ever do Halloween
I can
ends.
get behind it. I feel like the reason...
I don't want a Corey Cunningham house.
Not scary enough.
Yeah.
But I do feel like the reason I don't like Michael that much is because I didn't really get to experience the newer Halloweens before seeing... the old Halloweens before seeing the new ones. Does that make sense? Because I know the first Halloween movie I ever watched was Rob Zombie ones.
Well, there's your mistake.
Well, I'm sorry. I was on a Rob Zombie
You
yet.
start with 1978. You don't start with Rob Zombie.
But yeah, I don't know. Just hasn't clicked for me yet.
Anyways. Moving forward. Brian says, I have autism, so it's really scary for me. I just use earplugs and it's alright. Any other good tips for those who are differently abled?
Honestly, you pretty much have it down pat with the earplugs thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if... I don't know, that's always the big thing for me is too much sound.
Yeah, she wears earplugs.
I have to wear earplugs too. My first year of Horror Nights, I cannot tell you a single thing about it except for walking in and out of the park because I could not function without earplugs because it was too loud and therefore blocked out every single detail of my night.
Yeah.
So that, or like maybe if you have like light sensitivities and stuff, it's very dark in those houses, so I don't know if it would really help, but you could probably wear like sunglasses or something just to kind of give you another sense that's toned down.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to get overstimulated.
She would be your girl for that because she obviously wears the earplugs and stuff. I kind of go raw into it. I don't know. You'd be the person to answer that. Kyle, how would Michael Myers come back though? How would Michael come back
I
though?
think they're talking about to the event.
Oh, how we would come back to the event.
Guess if they brought the Blumhouse one.
Yeah, if they brought the Blumhouse, that's probably how they would do it. Or if they're bringing like the Peacock series that they're gonna do on him, which is like a remake again.
Maybe that'll be interesting. I feel like maybe a different perspective could change it.
Adam says Horror in the Heartland was awesome for the hardcore HHN fans who knew about the lore, but casual fans who were unaware of the lore didn't really understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you don't know anything about
If
Cary,
you don't,
Ohio,
you're kind of like, where am I? Why am I underground? Why am I in a meat shop? Why am I in a birding school?
yeah, if you don't know anything about Cary, Ohio, or anything with the lore of that, yeah, it's gonna be confusing. I understand that, but even like I feel like outside of that perspective, just going into it just like as a haunted house, it felt like a haunted house. I mean,
yeah,
felt like a good haunted house. I feel like you didn't really have to understand what was going on.
But I feel like if you did, you appreciated it better.
Yeah.
For sure.
It was in the Chucky line in Orlando, only bad part. Oh, turned down for what?
Not me not remembering that. I feel like that should be memorable.
I don't remember that. I'm glad that I don't. Stuck back in like 2014 or 2012, whenever that song came out.
Yeah. Let's keep on reading.
Christine. Hello, Christine.
No, love to see Christine.
Did either of you experience the Resident Evil house? No. Resident Evil was before my time and way before your time. My first year was 2015. I believe Resident Evil was 22, 21, 23, somewhere around that. So no, I did not. I've seen the walkthroughs and I know the general layout of it, the whole pause screen and all that fun stuff.
The
But no,
pause screen. It's kind of sick.
yeah, the pause screen. I do know about that. Tomatoes. Why does she hate Michael Myers? Tomatoes.
We kind of went into that a little bit.
They're making a Halloween series for Peacock? Yes, Adam, they are. It's very early stages. I think they just started it. Or just started making production. Like writing and things like that. Tomatoes. Who is her favorite slasher then?
Is mine considered
No.
a slasher though? Not really. If it had to be a slasher, I guess it's Ghostface.
Valid. Yeah, no. Saw is not a slasher.
I was like, he's not really a slasher, but he is my favorite.
He is a killer, but slasher is more of a genre of horror. But Ghostface is the only correct answer. Sorry, everyone.
Valid.
The hate for Halloween should be directed at those horrible Rob Zombie trash fires, in my humble and correct opinion. So the first one...
Was it really that bad? Because I feel like I remember liking it.
The first one is not bad. You gotta look at it from completely thinking it's not a Michael Myers movie. Because
Maybe that's what.
Michael Myers was weird, to say the least. They gave him a backstory, which I didn't really like, because the whole thing with Michael Myers is he's supposed to just be this embodiment of evil with not really a backstory, besides that he just killed his sister, and then was just locked up. So, didn't really appreciate that part, but as far as like the suspense and like the Rob Zombie directing style, like I love Rob Zombie the way he directs, I did like that. The second one, burn it. Burn it with fire. Flamethrower.
More tomatoes.
More tomatoes.
Michael Myers is the man.
Michael Myers is the man.
I
Until he wasn't in Halloween Ends when he got beat up by a 17-year-old kid.
yeah, and y'all
24-year-old
still
kid,
love
whatever.
these movies. Maybe I did myself a favor by not liking them.
No, you didn't. You deprived yourself of a great horror franchise. That's what you did.
But I wasn't heartbroken with the most recent movie, so save myself something.
Fair point about how it's hard to figure out what Michael Myers actually was.
That part.
The thing with Michael Myers is that's the point.
But that's
right?
why I can't like it. That's why.
It's because she grew up in the age of things being explained to you. Back in the 1970s, when the horror wasn't really explained, for example, Texas Chainsaw Massacre was never explained,
But him, like.
which came before Halloween. Like, Leatherface, nothing was explained about him.
But he makes sense. Because, like, you have the context clues. He's just some weird, messed up guy, okay?
So why can't you say that about Michael then?
Because they go off on so many different things. They're like, oh, he's just a boy and he killed his sister and he went crazy. And now he's cursed and now this and now
I'm
he's
talking about the
alive,
original
and now
film in the
he's dead.
70s. I'm talking about the original film, 1978.
Well, maybe if they made just the one, I'd like it.
But the whole thing John Carpenter wanted to do, which we're going into the nerdy horror Kyle now. Thing with John Carpenter is he wanted to create a figure, or a shape, that's why he's called the shape, that is just the embodiment of evil. They didn't want to give him a backstory. They just wanted to have a physical manifestation of evil.
Well, then why would he be a human child?
What do you mean?
If they were just
So you
manifesting
think
evil,
evil
he should have
comes
been like
out as a grown
demon.
man?
No, he should have been like a non-human entity then.
Well, he's supposed to be the boogeyman.
Yeah, but if he's the boogeyman, be the boogeyman. But they
Anyways,
make him such a normal
going off on a
backstory.
tangent here.
The part that makes it so hard is that he has such a normal beginning.
Yeah. The first Rob Zombie, not the worst movie ever. The second Rob Zombie movie makes me want to break out that vasectomy line again. Yeah, agreed. Yes, I agree with that. 100%. Eliana says, wasn't he like a kid possessed by the demon of Sam Hain? Okay, so if you go into like
I
the
love
Curse of
that.
Michael Myers and like the other iterations of Michael Myers, yes, they go onto like a curse, an Aztec curse that he has, is why he
Exactly.
can't die, all this other stuff. Sure, yeah, you can not like those. I understand that. But the original film,
But it's supposed to all connect, buddy.
not all of them. There's a million franchises and requels and remakes and yeah.
Like I said, maybe if we just would have left it at one, we'd be good to go, but we're not.
Fear Cosplay says, I would say get some Cohen 673, I think the headphone's called. Has a fantastic noise canceling effect and it makes the house good. Oh, okay.
I specifically have been in love with my loop earplugs. And they come in a cute little container, so you can click them onto your keys and stuff. And those have been really good. And if you get the Switch ones, which is the ones that I have, you can make them fully sound canceling. You can make them only cancel out background noise, and then you can do one setting that just has like a very vague, like, chills out the noise kind of setting. It's really good. And there's different size ear tips. Not sponsored.
And then Joey makes a good point, says, Ileana, they introduced that idea of the Samhain thing in the 6th movie, then retconned it away in the next one. That's the thing with, like...
Why it's weird. That's why it's so hard to follow and get into.
Okay, so this is what I'm talking about, though. Like, horror as a whole. There's so many remakes and requels and stuff. We have Jason X, for example, when Jason became a robot. No correlation at all with what Jason normally does. So yeah, and then like Freddy Krueger, the new Freddy Krueger movie that isn't Robert Englund. I say new, but that was 2010. Not Robert Englund, remake. There's stuff like that. There's stuff that doesn't make sense in horror, but
Well,
it
you
happens.
know, if I'm gonna not like one, it's just gonna be Michael Myers. 'Cause at least the other people are cool, even sometimes their movies
Even
don't make
Saw.
sense. What's wrong with Saw?
They could have made one and it'd be done. Just like you said about Halloween. Tobin Bell was Jigsaw. After Saw 3, Tobin Bell is no longer Jigsaw.
Okay, Ann.
Then
At
what's
least
the point
they
of
didn't
Saw?
bring him back to life.
They technically did with Saw X, just made it a prequel.
But he wasn't dead and then alive again.
Anyways, we're getting off topic here. Halloween Ends is awful. Yes, it is. Well, Halloween 2, the original one, is just a continuation of the first one. It literally starts where the first one ends. It does. It does do that.
Okay, well then maybe we can have two.
Because that's the night the first one's the night he came home, and the second one's the night he came, or something, I don't know. But it's a continuation and it's set in the hospital. Yeah, that's a good one, actually. That's a really good Halloween. The DJ kill was awesome, though. Oh, Halloween Ends. Yeah. That wasn't even Michael, though, was it? That was Corey. No, it wasn't cool. It wasn't. I really like Halloween 4. Halloween 4 that's when they introduce, what's her name? Jamie? The little girl, right? Kyle says, now that Atomic Monster and Blumhouse have joined together, how soon do you think we could get a Conjuring, Annabelle, or the Nun house? Anything but the Nun. Maybe unpopular opinion, I hate the Nun movies. They're really bad. Conjuring, pretty good. What was the other one we said? Annabelle would be good. The only thing with Conjuring right now is I think Six Flags is using it, or they did last year. So I don't.
Because they also weren't they the ones that did Saw last year too?
Yeah, they did Saw last year. I forgot about that.
Oh, unfortunate that we
They did Saw recently again too. But I would like to see the Conjuring or Annabelle. I hope if they do Annabelle, they don't do it wrong.
Yeah.
Hint, hint. Chucky house. Then we get to Joey. The Man in Black they introduced in part 5, they literally didn't know what that was for. They just wanted a mystery character, then they figured they'll explain it later. That's how we got the Cole by Michael Myers. Yeah. But you haven't seen any of these, so you don't know.
Yeah, because isn't there one that's literally got nothing to do with Michael Myers?
Yeah, it's Halloween 3.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good Halloween.
Maybe I'd like that one since he's not.
That's a
in it.
great Halloween. Halloween 3. Sorry, my computer had a heart attack. Speaking of underrated, Halloween 3. Halloween 3, fantastic. Fantastic movie. That is very hated. I feel like it's coming to the fold now, because I feel like a lot of people are liking Halloween 3. Brian says, Robert Englund is too old to play the character anymore. Also, Jason is the best slasher by far. Thing with how I see with Robert Englund and Freddy, if you're going to make a Freddy movie, and you don't have Robert Englund, don't do it. Don't touch it. No one can play Freddy but Robert Englund. Maybe that's me being biased, I don't know. But I don't want to see a Freddy that isn't Robert Englund. That's just me. And Robert Englund can still play it, I feel like, but he doesn't want to. He said he's too old to play it. I know he has said that. So I definitely don't want him to do anything he doesn't want to do. But
yeah,
just don't make Freddy anymore then. Don't make Nightmare on Elm Street. Jason is the best slasher. He's a good slasher.
Yeah.
No, I really like Jason. I really like
It
Jason.
was just your silent moment there.
I'm biased to Ghostface. I will say that. Specifically, Billy Loomis, Stu Macher Ghostfaces.
Yeah.
Spoiler if you haven't seen Scream. But just because I grew up with Scream, and so that was my main slasher intake. Watching all the Screams and stuff, and when they come out, Scream 4, and obviously the new ones now. So I'm a little biased to Ghostface. But I do love the story of Jason. I think him and Leatherface are the two slashers that were kind of forced into doing what they do. Because obviously Jason died from the camp counselors, and then he's a little crazy, so he's got his mom in his head. And he saw his mom get killed by a counselor in the first Friday the 13th. And so now he has his mom in his head telling him to kill these people. So realistically, Jason doesn't want to do it. And then if you go even deeper into that, when you watch Freddy versus Jason, and Freddy shows like Jason underneath all his stuff, like when it shows like the scared kid, that really shows you how Jason is, which I love that about Jason. And so that makes Jason such like a good slasher to me. And the same thing with Leatherface. I love Leatherface so much. That's probably like my second. Yeah, I would say Leatherface is probably my second favorite slasher. And that's because Leatherface, again, was forced into it. He's just trying to protect his family. And then his family is crazy.
Yeah.
And he's obviously not all mentally there either.
He just don't know what he's doing.
I like we're justifying murderers.
I'm sorry, but Leatherface is baby.
What?
He's baby.
It's a big baby. Anyways, Joey says, Saw 3, they were just torturing a poor dude who is sad his kid died. And then says, yeah, Jamie Lloyd and her foster sister Rachel, two wonderful characters, love Halloween 4. Yes, and that was Danielle Harris, right? I believe that was Danielle Harris back in the day.
Also, going back to the Saw comment, believe me, I'm not justifying who he puts through this stuff. I don't. But I do like to watch.
Are you about to say Jigsaw is like a misunderstood killer?
He's just doing his best. He's doing what he thinks is gonna make things right. You know, it's kind of messed up. I don't justify anything he does, but it's an enjoyable show to watch.
And then says, now I just want a video where we're all nerd about Halloween. Back in the day, I used to just cover the horror stuff. But yeah, I agree with you. Talking about just horror is great.
Yeah.
Stefano says, first Halloween was the best, and it will always be number one. Agreed. Nothing beats the 1978. I think we can all agree that. Randy, your movie expert from Scream 1. Laurie is the Scream Queen. What's the tomato with you? No one Michael Myers. That's where Scream drew its story from, was the original John Carpenter's Halloween. That is very true. Halloween is literally played on the TV in Scream.
Okay, and you know what? He may love Halloween.
Billy Loomis. The name Loomis comes from Dr. Loomis from Halloween.
Okay, but you know, Scream is much better written.
Dang. That's a hot take. Tomato.
And you know what? Scream was also inspired by the Gainesville Ripper, so it's not like it came directly from Halloween.
No, but obviously the inspiration for Scream was horror movies.
Well, yeah.
And Halloween mostly was Halloween.
Yeah, I get it. Tomato.
Tomato. I'm so jealous that you guys got to meet Matthew Lillard. Oh, yeah, we did do that.
Don't get me started.
Yeah. I also have his autograph on my wall now.
I love that man.
I'm just gonna flex on you, apparently.
Yeah. He was so
on his autograph,
sweet,
he put liver alone, which I love.
Yeah.
But no, he is a very sweet man, very big man, very tall man. Because I'm a taller guy, and he is big to me.
Yeah. But let me tell you, that dude really appreciates what he has, and you can tell he loves doing what he does, which is very cool to see.
If you guys don't know, yeah, we did meet a lot of the Screamcast. We went to Spookala in Tampa and met a lot of those people.
Yes.
Melissa Barrera, Matthew Lillard, Skeet Ulrich, David Arquette, Mikey Madison. And speaking of the person I was talking about, Jason, I did meet Sean Cunningham. I think that's his name. I met him, which he was very instrumental in creating Jason and Friday the 13th, which was really cool too.
Yeah.
I remember when Halloween 3 was speculated for HHN a long time ago. I'm guessing that's what you meant. Yeah, it was. I do remember that. I would like to see that. Which technically that's...
It was, because then...
Technically that's what Sweet Revenge is now, because it's the same premise, but...
Yeah. But, like, I do remember that getting speculated, because didn't they even have, like, the plushies?
I don't know.
They had the plushies in the park, like for prizes on the games.
Oh, I don't remember.
It looks like the little masked people, right?
Yeah, the witch, the pumpkin, and the skeleton.
Mm-hmm.
Then Stefano says Robert Englund can't be replaced. Agreed. Brian says,
Simple
also, I'm a
man.
simple guy. I love all the in the series.
80085.
Also, there is a sympathetic bond with Jason in a way of seeing him terribly bullied.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jamie Lee sure was good looking back then.
What you mean? She still looked good.
Sure.
She did look good for her age, though.
Yeah, she has aged well. I will.
She's aged very well.
Joy says Jamie Kennedy saying behind you, Jamie, while watching Jamie Lee Curtis on TV while Ghostface is behind him. Scream is just brilliant.
Honestly, yeah.
Agreed. You can't say that. You don't like
I
Halloween.
don't like Halloween, but that scene is really good.
That is one thing I've always wanted to come to. Let me get back on the right topic here. That is one thing I've always wanted to come back to HHN or come to HHN is Scream.
Yes.
And was gonna come for 25. My first year it was gonna come and it didn't. They lost the licensing for it. They literally made a commercial with Ghostface in it and lost the licensing for it.
That is so unfortunate.
And then they put, I don't remember what they put inside of where it was gonna be, but that house was the Scream house. Like the facade of that was, it was either Sydney's house or Casey's house, but they just put another house in it.
That's so funny.
But yeah. Anyways, talking about underrated. Before we move on to our 2024 announcement predictions, I'm going to talk about my most underrated house. We've heard your guys's, we've heard Amber's, right? You said yours?
Pretty much.
Haunting a Hell House.
Haunting Hill House, scary.
It's
bugs.
scary. I'm going to talk about the one from 2017. 2017.
And while you talk about this, I'm not going to do bad.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to talk about 2017, and that house was a little house in the tents called Hive. Hive. I don't know if you guys went to HHN 27. Hive was a house based on like a bunch of vampires. And it was like where you go and literally the den of vampires. And from what I gathered, not a lot of people liked the house. Me, I love that house. And I love that house so much. And I'll tell you exactly why. Because that was when I would go to HHN like one time a year. Back when I was just like going because it was Halloween. I was like, I love horror. I love Halloween Horror Nights. I'm not into the speculation stuff, but I just go. So Hive was an amazing house. And I went into that house, my run through of it when I just went once a year. You go into this vampire's den, and there's a lot of good scares inside of the house. But there's one specific scare that has probably got me more than any other scare has in Horror Nights history. And that was, you go into this like basement. And the basement is like dark, and there's like, I believe it's like one light bulb. And then there's like a hallway that shoots this way. And I guess the scare actor that was in that room, because every walkthrough I've watched of that house since, scare actor didn't do what he did on my walkthrough. But there's this character in that room that was a stilt walker. And so I walked down into this basement, and down the hallway, I see like a flash of light. So it's like a strobe or something. And then a like 10-foot tall vampire is at the end of this hallway. And I turn and look down the hallway, and this stilt walker must have drank coffee that day or a monster or something, because he full-fledged charged at me on stilts. And I don't usually get scared of HHN houses. I'm pretty desensitized to that kind of stuff. But he ran full-fledged at me and scared the absolute crap out of me. And that will forever be my underrated house, is Hive. Like I finished that when you came in.
Nice.
But yeah, Hive was my most underrated house of all time, I feel like. Amber never seen it.
Nope. Sorry, that was probably loud.
Joey says, if they put a Scream house in HHN, I might have to move to Florida. And then says, can we get a quick Scream movie rankings? Mine would be 1, 6, 4, 5, 2, and 3.
I feel like mine would be pretty similar.
Yeah.
Be like 1, 4, 6, 5, 3, 2.
Mine would probably be 1, 6. Yeah, 4, 5. I think I have the same ranking as you, 2 and 3. I think I have the same exact ranking as you. Brian says, if I could afford it, I'd move to Orlando in a heartbeat. Yeah, Orlando's expensive though. It is. The 2017 original houses were so good. Also, apparently in the Hive was supposedly to be The Conjuring or something along those lines. I did not know that. So like I said, I wasn't in speculation at that point, so I had no idea about that. I just knew Hive was scary. It scared me.
Damn.
Anyways, moving on from the underrated stuff. I think we've talked about that for a good bit.
Definitely.
I want to talk about this year. We talked about Horror Nights past. Let's talk about this year. And I want to talk about specifically this year, the announcements, right? Obviously last week, was it last week now?
It's been, I think, 2 weeks now.
2 weeks? Whenever that announcement came. That happened recently, and obviously we got the tickets, or select tickets, and the dates for the event, and all that fun stuff. But we still don't know anything that's coming, right? We still don't know any of the houses, any of the scare zones, any show, if there's 1 show, 2 shows, whatever. We don't know anything. So, my prediction, obviously this is based purely off of me just guessing. Yeah, it's speculation. My prediction is our next announcement will probably be in May. For the event. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm probably, if earlier at the end of this month, but probably May. Because I'm feeling like maybe they'll do a little something in May, and if they follow the trend of info dumping, June, July, the rest of it.
Oh, you think they're gonna announce one thing and then just dump?
Maybe not necessarily like a mother trucker, dude.
Anyways.
Well, I don't even remember what I was saying. My life just flashed before my eyes.
Anyways, yeah,
What Chris said. That's pretty much where I'm at, is they might announce an IP or 2 and then dump the rest. Because frankly, like, the fact that we're starting in August does not give a lot of leeway.
Yeah, I think obviously the next announcement is gonna be a house. It's gonna be an IP. Probably be the marketing IP. I would always hope it'd be an icon thing. Especially with this whole door promo stuff they have going on, with this whole speculation, static stuff.
Unless they're trying to be real ominous with that, and then the big dump is the door opens and it's just your announcement.
Don't hurt me like that. Don't hurt me like that.
I am not trying to get my hopes up.
But yeah, I feel like the next announcement will be an IP, probably the marketing IP, so probably Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Obviously I don't know for sure, but yeah, that's my speculation on it. As far as the rest of the announcements could go anyway. I would love to get individual announcements, but more so we'll probably get the dump. Probably. I mean, it's like a 75% chance we'll probably get the dump. Because that's a lot to announce before August, especially before August 11th, when the unmasking starts.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. It would have to all be out before August 11th. Ooh.
So yeah.
We're getting a dump.
We're getting a dump.
There's no way that they announce everything on its own. They'd have to be doing one every single week.
Which is not their formula, so it's not going to happen. If it happens, you can say I was wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is my prediction as far as announcements go. Where were we in chat?
Right after Chris said maybe big drop in Lychee.
No, we missed some before that.
Oh.
Please let us know what you anticipate for the unknown IP houses could be from Horror Night Nightmares Speculation Map 1. Do you think we get a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde house? No, I don't think so. Because we got that last year.
Yeah, there was a Jekyll Hyde.
I think the Universal Monsters house this year, a lot of signs are pointing to Dracula, and a lot of signs are pointing to Creature. So if we do get some sort of Creature Dracula house, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Zombie Chris says, with 4 months left, I'm assuming 1 to 3 IPs and then a big drop. Yeah.
Pretty
Maybe the
much.
big drop in late June. Yeah. Honestly, they might even push it to July.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah. It's hard because it's like with the is it Unmasking tour that's early this year?
Yeah.
Unmasking. With the Unmasking tour, it's like, how early do they want to announce houses to build that potential for Unmasking sales? Because it's like they could wait till that last week of July, but are they giving themselves enough time from their perspective of that week and a half between an announcement and Unmasking for people to buy tickets?
Like, 'cause my thought process before, too, was like, maybe they're going to announce the houses that are going to be in the Unmasking. But when I thought about that, I'm like, well, if you go into a house, you're going to see the construction on another house.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to get it spoiled. So they're going to have to announce everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, they could really push it to July if they wanted to. They
They
pushed it to
could.
August last year, I think it
Yeah.
was, for the big drop. Wonder if we get another spec map before an actual announcement. Yeah, more than likely, probably.
I would think so.
But then again, sometimes Hornet Imers does wait for the first announcement before they make another one. That way they can for sure have a house that's confirmed on the map. But it's probably Ghostbusters, I'm gonna tell you that right now.
That would be my assumption.
So what, May for the first announcement? Probably. That's what I'm thinking. Probably May. I don't know what time in May. Could be early May, mid-May, late May, who knows. But that's what I'm thinking. Probably May at some point. I don't think there's any more this month. I don't think so. No more big drops. Yeah.
I wish.
Kaylin says, I'd love Terrifier, but I feel like it would be too intense for the average goer. That seems like a lot of people's mindset as well. I would love to see Terrifier at the event because I'm a Terrifier fan of the movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, especially with like the crowds that have been coming, have been a lot of teenagers as well. They probably don't want to do that.
Joey's comment.
Let's see. Joey says door opens and it's Slimer. It may be. It might be. I hope
That's
not.
the main announcement.
I hope, depending on who they get as far as like IPs this year, I hope they can market an icon. Because I know the thing with Netflix was you have to not be able to market an icon if you get Stranger Things. You have to market Stranger Things.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that I'm like, maybe stop getting Netflix.
Yeah.
Just because I want the icons to have like their own promo and stuff. Like Jack gets, like they have gotten in the past, you know? But, you know, it's just me. Dreamport says, I'm thinking May and June for marquee IPs, and then July for the drop, a lot like last year. That's what I'm thinking, too. I miss the old days when the originals would get their own announcements, but, you know.
Yeah.
Then, let's see, where was I? Alana says, I mean, we didn't get an Oddfellow announcement. We only found out about him because of the store. Yeah, we've got that, and then obviously we got our people that would stand outside the gates when they were doing rehearsals at night and hear the Oddfellow opening ceremony and record it. And that really told us the main thing. And then obviously we ended up eventually getting the podcast episode about it, which I'm glad at least we got that.
Yeah.
But yeah. They better build fast to finish on time. Yeah, I think construction has already happened, as far as I know. I saw that there's tents up around like Fast and Furious and all that. So I do think construction is underway right now. But usually my confirmation is when we get the drone shots that some people take.
Yeah. Drone shots are like the through the trees, very little pieces of plywood.
Yeah. Let's see. I'd be so mad at that, Joey. Oh, the Slimer thing. Zombie Chris says, if Ghostbusters is a repeat house, they could roll that info out with the Summer Tribute Store. Good point, because I'm pretty sure the Summer Tribute Store is obviously old Universal again, right?
Yeah.
It's Jaws, Ghostbusters, Back to the Future, all that fun stuff,
The
right?
running theory. I believe.
Probably what it is. So that could happen, and I mean, what time does the Summer Tribute usually come around? June?
I don't know.
I think June.
Because, I mean, Mardi Gras just ended.
Yeah, but they already took down the whole tribute store from Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
That's gone.
I'm like, maybe the store will open in May then.
I don't actually know when the Summer Tribute usually opens.
Because are they putting it in that same spot, or are they pulling what they did last year where it was like one's here and one's there being built at the same time, and then that one closes and the other one opens up in the other spot. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure Summer Tribute is going to be in Hollywood.
Oh.
Because someone said there was like an Easter egg of it or something. Where was I? Midsummer Scream will probably have lots of big announcements for HHN Hollywood last week of July, I anticipate. Yeah, Hollywood usually gets their big, kind of drop during Midsummer Scream. So, yeah, you guys would definitely probably get that from John Murray himself. Zombie Chris says they have to sell Frequent Fear Pass sooner than that. Sooner than later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like Frequent Fear, as far as Frequent Fear comes, could be end of May or June. More so, probably June.
Yeah.
For Frequent Fear. Frequent Fear is usually a couple months before the event. So I say more than likely June. Could be May, but more than likely June. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know for sure. But, again, don't take what I'm saying as, gospel. Because I'm just guessing. Just based off of, patterns that they have done in the past. But, yeah. Universal will officially confirm things at the right time. But, did we get all the IPs last year before they dropped all the 5 originals at once? I know we definitely knew Chucky, Stranger Things, and The Last of Us. They dropped The Exorcist with the big drop. Mm-hmm. And then Monsters was just in the drop. Which, Monsters is technically an IP. So, yeah. But we did get, we got Last of Us, we got Chucky.
Yeah, because they did the
Stranger
little,
Things.
video call thing to drop all those.
Yeah. And yeah, The Exorcist had its own promo, but it came out the same exact time as the Mega Drop promo. It's crazy to think they wouldn't want to advertise their product to drive more ticket sales. And hopefully Terrifier 3 isn't so long and is so gory that the movie gets a no 17 rating. Terrifier... depends what they want to do. I know from what I've heard about Terrifier, the actor that plays Art, one of the scenes actually grossed him out for the first time in Terrifier 3. So that tells you something.
That does say something.
Yeah. Apparently, I know Damien Leone or something said, he had to walk off set or something. I was like, ooh. If it grossed out literally Art.
Can't wait.
Oh my gosh. Dreamport says, Summer Tribute typically opens in June. Okay, so I was right about that. The Mega Video rental teased to be the Summer Tribute theme had the address of the Hollywood store. That's what it was. Then Kyle says, do you anticipate we could get more houses and scare zones than HHN alluded to this year? No. There's always the rumor every year about an 11th house. As long as I've been going, and we're doing 10 houses, there's always been the rumor of an 11th. I would love to have another house. I feel like it could maybe help with crowd control a little bit, but that also gives you a little more to do if you don't have Express or something.
Yeah. And
would maybe have to get you to get multiple nights instead of if you're just doing a single night ticket. So I don't think so. I don't think there will be an 11th house or a 6th scare zone. And I know it's possible we won't have the parade buildings this year because of the new sprung tents that they're building. So I don't think they really have room to make an 11th house.
No. I think if they are going to do it, it would not be this year.
Yeah, they'd have to really plan it out, or do a 2-park Horror Nights again, like they did the Islands of Fear, and just do both parks like they did in 2004. Whenever they had Twice the Fear, whatever it was, that's probably when they have more houses because then they have more space. But I don't think that's gonna happen at all for them to integrate islands back into it. I feel like HHN is just really being strictly Universal.
Yeah.
Universal Studios specifically, rather than branching out to Epic or branching out to islands.
I was gonna say the only way I could see maybe possibly in the future them doing the 2 parks again or having more than the 10 houses is way after Epic has been built and had its moment.
Yeah, I agree.
Because they're not going to take away from Epic, and then once Epic is open, that does kind of open up to have a little more.
Sorry, I'm laughing at one.
a little more room to let the guests go to Epic and use the other parks for more nights.
Yeah. Director said that the 3rd will be the most intense one yet. Oh, Terrifier.
Yes.
I feel like a second show matters more as of right now than an extra house. I agree.
Yes.
I feel like 100%. They need to
100%.
bring back the Lagoon. I know it's under construction still. Bring back the Lagoon show. It'll help with crowd control. The only show we have is Nightmare Fuel, so that's very hard to create crowd control because, I mean, there's limited space inside of Fear Factor stage. And, yeah.
Even if they opened up, like, and did horror makeup at night. Like, just a little something, because last year I felt like...
Which horror makeup's used for media and
Yeah.
stuff, usually.
But I feel like last year specifically was kind of a nightmare because we only had one show. Like, I definitely felt the impact of only having one show.
Yeah, you could definitely feel it whenever Ghoulish broke down in 31.
Yeah.
And then we had way more crowds. But yeah, I feel like we definitely need another show, whether that is the speculated animal actors thing going on, or if it's Lagoon coming back. Yeah, we need more crowd control as far as that goes. And then what I was laughing at earlier, Joey Mayo says, the 11th haunted house is the Comfort Inn across Major Boulevard. It's the scariest house yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brian says, yes, bring back Beetlejuice, make a seasonal makeover for makeup horror show, for the horror makeup show. Yeah. Again, horror makeup's usually used for media, and I think RIP.
No, RIP is usually
Cafe La Bamba.
But I mean, realistically, like if they wanted to bring that show back, just to have the crowd control, they could literally do what they do in that building anywhere else.
Yeah, true. I don't know. But I want 35 to be Jack vs. Oddfellow. One has islands and other has studios. Never gonna happen, but it's my dream.
Would be pretty iconic.
I do think there could be a possibility for a Jack vs. Oddfellow thing in the future.
Yeah.
Just because if you were one of the people that did engage with the Oddfellow actor during the run of the event, if you ever mentioned Jack, he thought Jack was dead.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously we know he isn't. He's just in a lantern.
Right.
So that could be, implying something in the future, but I don't know. I don't think the two parks are gonna happen though, ever again.
Yeah.
It'd be cool, but I feel like that'd be a lot of work for Universal to do.
Yeah. But I mean, if HHN keeps growing like it is, I feel like at a certain point they may have no other option unless they want to like severely limit their possibilities.
I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm not too sure. Brian says, I wonder if they'll add HHN to Epic and Islands against to expand the attractions. Yeah, like I was saying, for example, I don't think Epic will ever be used for HHN. Maybe Islands, possibly in the future, but I don't think Epic will ever be used, especially in its opening stages. No. I think they're probably going to want to keep HHN away from Epic.
Yeah.
Your HHN and Epic is Dark Universe.
Yeah. And there's the fact that Epic is going to be so separated from this main
area.
True,
because Epic's
like a good 15 minutes from where Universal is currently.
Yeah. So yeah, I
did not realize how far apart it was going to be. I thought it was going to be pretty close, but it's surprisingly far. And then you're not going to be up at City Walk, and you're not going to be in that same area, and it would just be like a whole big change that I don't think they'd be prepared for.
Yeah, I think, for example, like, if, like you were saying, like, crowd control gets insane, I still don't think it will expand to Islands. I think what they'll probably do at that point is market more of the Vegas stuff. Market like, hey, we also have Horror Nights in Vegas.
Yeah.
Like, here, you can go here. Like that.
Yeah, maybe work some more into there.
And then, obviously, they'll probably market Hollywood, too, which, like, they always do. But Vegas, I feel like we heavily marketed if, like, crowd control gets crazy.
Yeah.
So, like, hey, we have a year-round one here. Go there.
Yeah.
I feel like that's possible. I don't think they'll expand to the Islands. I don't. So, oh, I'm behind. No, I'm not actually. Simpsons area rumored to be leaving. This could be huge for HHN. This could be huge for me because I hate Simpsons.
Yeah.
Hot take.
Always been the area that I'm like, why is this here?
I don't like Simpsons area.
I'm not a fan.
But yeah, possibly. I mean, I don't know if there's any rumors of what's coming to there once Simpsons leaves or what's gonna replace it. But Simpsons replaced Back to the Future, and that was a crime against humanity. So, Kaylin says, I thought maybe Major Sweets had a good chance this year to be the icon with the spec of the Sweet Revenge House and the code names. Possibly. I mean, that is
Yeah.
an
It's
idea.
very sweets and snack themed.
I feel like the icon thing, the rumor for the icon is like 6 different rumors at this point.
Uh-huh.
So it's hard to pinpoint what could be actually coming, because obviously there's the Fear rumor, there's Jack, there's Boris,
Jack,
there's...
Boris, the Madam, Basio, who else? Cindy and Eddie,
and Major Sweets.
and Major Sweets.
So yeah, I don't know. Then let's see. Oh, wasn't a huge fan of Major Sweets as a character. Then might have to do a lot of work there to make him icon worthy. Agreed. He's no
Yeah.
Pumpkin Lord. I feel like you
Yeah.
can't take him from a house or a street and throw him into an icon without.
Yeah. No, because they weren't made with the thought that they were going to be, like, leading the event.
Yeah, and I feel like with Major Sweets, it's a little different than like Pumpkin Lord. Like Pumpkin Lord, you could easily make into an icon of the event because he's a pumpkin. It's Halloween. His roots can grow through everything. That's easy. Major Sweets is just like a guy,
Yeah.
and like he doesn't have a lot of like lore behind him. So I feel like if they have to make him an icon, they have to really build him up.
Well, see, I was kind of low-key thinking the opposite there. I felt like Pumpkin Lord, like, he had his little story in the house, but he didn't have, like, as much that could hinder from making a bigger story to him. But I feel like Major Sweets, his story within that zone kind of puts a, like, stop in
Oh,
where
like
he
he's
could
kind of
expand.
pigeonholed inside
Yeah.
of that area. I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense actually.
Like, he's just the guy that poisoned the candy. Like, what else are you gonna do with him?
That is true. You did have a good point there. Like for example, if you take like Director or you take like Jack, Director can easily be made into an icon, like he was. Because he's a director, you can make everything movie themed. Boom. Same with Usher. Jack, he was the original icon. He's a clown. Clowns are easy to make do everything. Same with Fear. Fear literally controls everything.
Yeah.
All these icons. Like those are icons. It's like, okay, that makes sense. And then when the
Yeah.
Chance Kid became an icon, it's like, okay, you're in Chance's head. That makes sense. That's why everything in this event this year is inside of her head. That makes sense. With Major Sweets, I feel like there's not that.
Yeah.
There's no thing that you can be like, oh, this is something specific about Major Sweets. We can turn this into the entire
Yeah.
event.
But then that goes back to the fact that a lot of those characters were specifically created to be part of that storyline.
But not Chance. Chance is the odd one because obviously she was made in 2007 whenever they just wanted to give a Harley Quinn to Jack. Where was I? Wasn't it? Oh, I already said that. Dreamport said Island still has spaces for houses and zones that could work, but Epic seems to be designed purely for Epic with very little room for anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Epic will not be HHN related at all. I don't see anything happening with HHN inside of Epic. Pokemon is the rumor land for Simpsons.
That's
Really?
interesting.
I haven't heard that. If that's true, I'm down for that. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Play some Pokemon Go in the Pokemon land.
Full experience.
That'd be cool. That'd be really cool, actually.
I
Like a
love it. You're,
Pokemon ride?
Nerding out right now.
Well, I grew up on Pokemon. But like a Pokemon ride where you like trying to catch the Pokemon
That
or
would be
something?
pretty cool.
That'd probably be cool. Speaking of that, any word when HHN Vegas will open? From what I've heard, fall 2025. So like a year and some change. And then you said you'd like another Scarecrow house. Yeah, Scarecrow houses are always good, but that also brings corn,
Cooler.
which brings hurricanes.
Yeah.
Joey Mayo says, signing off. Have a great night, guys. Thank you for the entertainment. See you next time. Well, we're actually signing off too. That was a great thing to end it on. So yeah, that is our underrated houses and our predictions for Halloween Horror Nights. Yeah. So we're just trying to see what Horror Nights is gonna do. See if they make any moves. But yeah.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say?
No.
Okay. Well, thanks for hanging
Have
out with
fun.
us tonight, guys. I appreciate you. Oh, this is a long stream. It is 10:15. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we've been here for a minute.
Yes, I'm gonna go eat some food because I like food. And yeah, so thank you guys for chilling with us and talking about your underrated houses and rumors and all this fun stuff. And I thought you were pointing at something on the ceiling.
I'm raising my hand.
Yes.
You need to mention before we leave that we just dropped our merch.
Oh yeah, we did just drop our merch. That was thanks. We did just drop our merch. The link for that is in the description box. And there's 47 products, so a lot to choose from.
Yes.
There's hoodie variations, there's bomber jackets, there's t-shirts, there's fanny packs, all this fun stuff.
Water bottles.
Rain
jacket.
Rain jacket. So if you want a rain jacket for opening night, it's in there.
T-shirts and hoodies.
So yeah, that is in the description if you guys want to check that out. And also thank you guys for 40K views on the deep dive. Still insane to think about. But we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. And besides that, anything else to say?
No.
Did I forget anything? Okay, cool. We will see you guys in the fog, and we will see you guys in the morgue. Thanks for hanging out, everyone.
Good night.
Bye-bye.